Alrighty. Alright, tune into the stream, Mr. Revan. We're gonna go over the notes first.
Alrighty.
Let me know when you're tuned in.
I am looking.
Alrighty. So, EC etiquette. It is incredibly important to follow all server rules and maintain a good attitude while you're ECing. This includes responding to the GM when they ask if any ECs are free. If you're busy, say so. If you're free up, say so. If you can free up, say so. Always respond to the GM when they talk to you. So when the GM, let's say, asks, you just died, and they ask, do I have any free ECs? Just make sure you respond saying yes, you're free, because like almost 9 times out of 10, they're trying to set something else up as soon as possible. So you want to be responding to the GM anytime they ask for something. Receiving/giving assistance. Be respectful to your fellow GMs. There's no need to be rude to anyone. If people are attempting to assist you, don't be rude and disrespectful towards them. If you don't want the help, just tell them. On the other side of the coin, if you're attempting to help someone and they tell you that they don't need it, don't continue to push. Respect other people's boundaries as a member of the team, and they'll respect yours. So, essentially, what this means is you don't want to be rude to your fellow GMs, right? We're all on a team here. If people are attempting to assist you, and you don't want the help, don't be rude and disrespectful. Just make sure you're telling them what you need help with or what you might not need help with, what you think you can do yourself, right?
Gotcha.
Then we're going to move on to plastic dupes. When you're creating a plastic dupe, it should not be a direct one-to-one of the map below it. If it is going to look like the map you're using, you might as well just use the map. Plastic dupes are great when done correctly, but it's important to show the actual map some love as well. So, let's say you're doing Darkscape. Not Darkscape. Yeah, I think Darkscape. Darkscape, and you do a plastic dupe that's the exact same thing above it. It's like every building's a one-to-one. The trees are a one-to-one. There was no point in making that plastic dupe because
Right.
you just redid the map. If you're going to do a plastic dupe, it needs to feel like a completely different map. Welding dupes. Don't weld an entire dupe to a single prop. It becomes highly likely that there will be too many constraints and therefore your dupe will not be welded properly on the server. If you're going to use smart weld, remember weld to not weld anything to the world. This is the most important one right here. The 24-hour event. 24-hour event will be hosted December 13th and December 14th, which is going to be this Friday and this Saturday. So keep those dates in mind. The member with the most passives held will receive 50 USD. Passive event requirement for all event members of the following ranks: Event Manager, your 25 passives; Head GM, 20 passives; Lead GM, 15 passives; Senior GM, 10 passives; and GM and Trial GMs are required to do 5 passives. Let's break some records. Our previous record was 617, but we want to break our 500. We can definitely break to 700. We have faith in you guys. Show you how to host passives. You might already know how to, but give you guys some ideas. We'll go over some stuff in game now. Kind of want to see your dupe, so if you don't mind streaming, I want to kind of go over
I
your
gotcha.
dupe, and then I can go based off some things that you might have questions about in my dupe. Can go over some
Let's see.
tools, make sure all your tools are properly set up. And let me know when you're streaming and have it booted up.
I gotcha.
For now, just guess I could just go over tool presets with you. Hoverball. Always use the hoverball. So do you know how to use your no collide tool?
Yeah, I have a pretty good understanding of it.
Okay. What tools are you confused on that you would like a little bit more clarification on?
Um, Probably welding
Welding.
and
Do you have Smart Weld downloaded?
I think I do.
Alright, if you go over to Event Chat and you go to the pinned messages, you should be able to scroll down and find Smart Weld, Advanced Duplicator 2, Improve Stacker, and Precision Tools. Those 4 tools are very
Okay.
essential with building your dupe, so make sure you have all 4 of those downloaded if you don't already have them.
Let me subscribe to that.
Yes. Oh, and then Larry's prop counter. If you go to event information.
I got that one.
Oh, perfect. Yes, that's a very
Yeah.
important one.
Okay, I got all them.
Once your dupe's loaded up, start streaming, and I want to go over it with you.
Alright, da-da-da-da. Dun, dun, dun.
Alrighty, let's see what you got.
Let me put down my doopy. Where's my mouse at? Holy shit. Da-da-da. Oh, is it not on here? Because I'm on my laptop. I don't know if he'll fucking...
Refresh your dupe folder. Did you save
It
it?
may not... Yeah, but I did it on my PC. I'm on my laptop right now because I'm out of town.
Okay.
It may not be on here.
Those dates that you've already pre-claimed, will you be here with that saved dupe, or do you think you're going to make a new dupe? Might need to make a new one.
Let's see here. Hold on. Da-da-da-da-da. The 20th, 24th. The 20th and the 24th. I should be home, so I should be good.
Okay. We'll go over a few tools then, since you don't really have a dupe. Then some
I think
building strategies as well.
one of my main things is, do you have to weld everything, or is
Yes.
that only
Very important.
okay, so I need to do that.
Have you used the Smart Weld tool before?
No.
Okay. So if you're tuning into my stream right now, I have the Smart Weld tool out.
Yep.
So let's say I want to. Let me just save my progress. What I was doing first. I don't want to lose it. To be honest, it's my dupe for tomorrow. Save. Real. Okay. Die. I guess we can kind of see it in real time, because I'm doing my dupe in multiple parts. So let's say I do want everything welded together. Just remove all this shit. Okay. Let's say I want everything to weld it together, right? I'm going to get my Smart Weld. Let's say this is just one section of the dupe. You're going to get your Smart Weld tool, and you have your auto select radius. So you can have that as high as you want. If you click on something, it turns green. If you click off of something, it turns back to its normal color. If you hold at the top left of your screen, it gives you the instructions on how to use the Smart Weld tool. So if you want to select props within that radius that you preset, so that 1000 radius, if you want to select props within that, you're going to hold E and then left click. See how it selected all these within a 1000 radius?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go by hand, get the rest of these. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, doop. Okay, so now I have everything selected. Everything's light green, like I want it to be. So now I'm going to find a prop within this section of props that I have here that I want to weld everything to. You're not going to want to weld it to the world, because that's what messes it up. You want to weld it to a prop, one that you're not going to delete. But you don't want your entire dupe welded to one prop. You want to weld it in pieces, like how this one's going to be welded right here. So now that I have this, I'm going to hold E and then right click. This welded everything to this prop right here. So now it's welded. I can't move this now. I can't move this. This can't be moved either. You want everything to be welded. It prevents lag. So let's
Gotcha.
say I made an accident, an oopsie, or, I forgot that rock over there or something. If you want to undo your weld, you're going to get your normal weld tool out. You're going to find the prop you welded everything to, and you're gonna press R. That will clear all the weld constraints, and now everything can be moved again.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just actually weld this now.
There's a Popeyes. Not even.
Alright. So now everything's welded. Perfect. Now, do you know how to save?
Like the dupe itself?
The dupe
Yeah,
itself.
yeah.
Yep. So make
You
sure
just go
you're
to
not
advanced
using the
duplicator.
area copy. You just right click it a bunch of times. Something I do suggest to everybody is go to your dupe information once you have it grabbed, just to make sure you have everything properly there. So we had 30, I believe it was 30 props when I did my weld. Let's check. About 29. I'm missing one. So one, I think I had 29. But just make sure the amount of props that were welded matches the dupe information when you have it right clicked. Because if it doesn't,
Gotcha.
something messed up. You didn't weld something properly. Or let's say you could have just had random fucking rock that wasn't welded to your dupe, and you thought this was part of your dupe. Now you have it right clicked, you're not thinking, and now you save it to your folder, and oh no, it's only one entity. Now you load your dupe, it's just a rock. So make
Gotcha.
sure you're just double, triple checking your dupe to make sure that you're actually saving it. And then you should see the ghost, and maybe sometimes you want to paste it again to make sure everything's there. But never remove your dupe until you're 100% certain that it's saved properly. So you can create folders, like new folder.
So do you do like how do you judge like a half, like do you just do half and half? Like how
What
do
do you
you
mean?
judge what to really like weld together? Because you do like a part one and a part two
I would do it
essentially,
in
right?
parts, just so you're not relying your entire dupe to be welded to one prop, right? Because then, let's say you delete that prop. Well, and let's say you want to delete a section. You can't delete that section now because everything that was welded to that one prop is now unwelded, so to speak. So just
Gotcha.
make sure it's welded in parts, so it's not so many constraints on one weld, and then it properly saves. Because now that I have this part saved, right, I can get this down. You're gonna click paste at original location whenever you are doing the event map, because you're gonna be loading up the event map. You always want to select click paste at original location. It'll paste. Everything will start loading. Gotta make sure everything is there. Now, I'm going to go over some do's and don'ts for basics when it comes to props and probably stuff to not have in your dupe. Never material trees. You have the material tool? Never do that on a tree. You see how it fucks up the leaves here?
Yeah.
This crashes people. Trees, you can color trees. That's fine. It doesn't mess up the leaves. But never material a tree. So that's one thing that will crash people. Another thing that will crash people, I'm sure you might know, is blood on the lat. Did you know about that one?
I knew it crashed, but I didn't know how you
So
like kind of get rid of it.
when blood
Unless
gets on
you
a
clear it to
lat or an
ghost.
ARC 170, it crashes the server. Well, not I wouldn't say crash the server. It crashes the people looking at it. So if you are to have a lat in your dupe, make sure it's somewhere far off where no one's gonna get blood on it, or have some preventative measure to make sure blood doesn't get on it. Like don't spawn droids near it, etc.
Gotcha.
Something that can also crash the server. The entity alike, so the entity that flies around, drops people off for evac and stuff. If you get blood on that lat as well, that also crashes people. So the prop and the entity and the dropship, when you're eventually allowed to use that as well, all can crash the server. Another thing that could crash is those big ships. So let's find it. These big ships, be careful having these in your dupe. If people start crashing, this is probably one of the first things you're going to want to have to delete. If it's not the trees, it's not the lat, this is probably what's crashing people. These big ships, they take up a lot of space. So if you just
Gotcha.
start seeing people disconnect, delete these ships. Don't make them a crucial part to your dupe. And just when you're making dupes, like see how like I'm having here, I'm starting to make this part 1. make sure that you're having a decent amount of cover. You always want your droids or pirates or whatever spawning behind some semblance of cover. I'm doing like some natural dupes, so I'm using rocks, but you can use several barriers, and the most common one, I would say, is the Kashyyyk barrier. You probably see this all the time. I
Yeah.
just typed in Kashyyyk. This is probably the barrier you see everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure when you're doing spawns, you stagger your spawns. So you don't want just a straight line of just barrier, 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 barrier. You want to have what people call staggering your spawns. So you see how like I'm having here? You know there's going to be droid spawns here, but you're also going to have them here to the right, here to the left, here back here. So these droid spawns are going to be not predictable. You don't want the players to predict your spawns. You kind of want it to be
Right.
unpredictable in a sense. So when you're doing spawns, make sure that happens, that they're staggered. You can have watchtowers I've seen people use. Oops.
Just any type of form of cover.
Yeah, any type of form of cover or a logical place where a droid could come from. You know? Because kind of the story behind why like droids are coming behind this rock, like, oh, they were deactivated or they were hiding behind that rock. But let's say I put this tower here, I have more opportunities for spawns up here. There's just several things you can do. Also, when you're, I would say, making your event, what I would say is a probably fair thing to do while making your dupe is think of 2 objectives for each battalion to do throughout your dupe. So, and make it special for them. Make them want to enjoy your dupe because you want to retain the players. It's like here, I have a downed TX-130. If I have a first, is going to end up repairing this, right? And then later down the line, I'm going to have something else for them to do. I can have them repair some turret. I can have them build a bridge somewhere. Something like that. 212th, I can have a bomb ready in this house. I can have them fly over to a position where there's a turret. Have them take out the turret. After 91st, let's say, did some recon. They went to go find that turret that's all the way on this mountain. Well, now we're going to send 212th, go fly over to that mountain. You go blow that shit up. And then 91st can have heal some dude in here. You always just want stuff for the other battalions to do. You want to make it interesting, right?
Right.
You don't want to tailor an entire event just towards the shock battalion or something, where it's just negotiations the entire time. Because then
Right.
you'll see you're going to start losing 91st, you'll start losing Jedi, you'll start losing everybody. So make sure you, while you're making your dupe, you start thinking of objectives that you just have set up. You kind of want to have this pre-thought. If you're just slamming random things like, oh, I want, I don't know, random man drowning in the water over here, it's going to feel rushed and it's not going to feel right? The battalions, you want to give them the chance to actually do something that's going to be fun, so to speak. Any other questions about GM stuff that you are a little concerned about getting into your first dupe? Anything you still want me to go over real quick?
Not necessarily. I just wish I had my dupe on my laptop because it would make me feel better knowing I at least have one that I can kind of go over, you know.
Yeah, I'm
But
trying to think.
when I get back, I'll
Yeah, I'll
show
definitely go
you.
over the dupe with you. I would like to go over it and see, what you
I
have.
think
in
my
mind.
main thing is just trying to figure out, an objective for each battalion to just do.
So I can tell you, you want to tie it into your story, right? So I haven't really thought of my story here yet. I just know I want a swamp dupe. Maybe I can have some big alligator boss at the end named Gustav. That can be your end point. You want to have your end point in mind before you start making your story. Because then you
Right.
can lead your objectives into that end point. Like, let's say, I don't know, Gustav the crocodile. He's a big crocodile I'm going to have probably at the end of the stoop. And now the people of the swamp have been being terrorized by this crocodile. I can have like a little village here. Oh my god, he ended up eating everybody but left one survivor to tell the story to shock, be like, hey, there was this big crocodile. You just want to tie it into your story, right?
Right.
So think of your story as you build your dupe and then tie your objectives in. But just make it make sense towards your story because you don't want, let's say, I don't know, random man and random tree stuck in tree. Now that doesn't
Right.
have any semblance of story. If it's fun for the troopers, then so be it. But if you kind of want your dupe to come together, that's what you want, is your story laid out and ready to go. I don't start an event until, well, I'm not confident in my dupe until I know my story and my objectives line up together. Now, it is hard at first, right? It's hard thinking of the objectives. I'm thinking that 501st is going to have this speeder here. Not the speeder, this TX. They're going to have to pull it out of the mud. Maybe I can have Jedi use the Force, pull it out of the mud, lift it up to the surface, and 501st can end up repairing it. Boom, that's something for Jedi to do too. And then I can send Jedi off on some other adventure to, I don't know, probably try to find out where the beast is and try to tame it with the Force. Something like that.
Right.
So is that like kind of where you're struggling with your
Yeah.
side object? You don't know what to do as a side objective?
Yeah, 'cause I don't want to do like just one thing, you know.
Yeah, I
But then
say
again, it's
rule of thumb, 2 for each battalion. And have it staggered throughout your dibs. So that way, let's say 91st has a medical situation over here. Okay, well now you have a recon mission planned for them. They're going to go to whatever grid square on the tactical map, and they're going to go do some recon. They're going to find a base there. And you're going to want to send a team, a strike team over there. You're going to send 212th with their jetpacks. Fly over there. Take it out. Blow it up. Use your
Right.
explosives, your rocket launchers, your jetpacks. Just involve everybody, essentially. And it just needs to feel like it's tied in.
yeah.
So, I mean, I think you'll do good on that part. I'm not worried about that. You just gotta remember 501st does the engineering so that you can have repairing for them. You can have vehicle combat, or you can have something where they're doing some engineer RP where they're building something. Boom, 3 things you can do for 501st right there. 212th, you have them hot drop. Let's say you're flying a LAT to your dupe, and you want to clear the landing zone before you get there. Boom, have 212th jump out before the rest of the group. Have them hot drop on the zone, kill everything, and then you drop everyone else. Or, like I said earlier with the turbo laser example. And then bombs. That's 212th. 91st, recon, medical. Chem spills.
Yeah.
Shock, negotiations, AV7. You could do. You can do VIP escort. And then fleet. You can do air support. It can be in either an ARC or a LAT. And the console hacking, logistics. There's a lot of things you can do.
Right. Does SC like need to be a requirement to give objectives,
No,
or
I mean, if you see an SC during your event, it wouldn't hurt to put a random governor or senator somewhere. I mean, tie it into your story if you want, but if it just doesn't make sense on the planet you're on or the objective you're doing, there's no need.
Right.
You can try to tailor to them by like giving them something that maybe that's not a governor or a senator. Maybe get them a data pad somewhere that says something about like some diplomatic stuff about how the senator of this world is corrupt and how he's been killing all the civilians or something. They can take that information back to base and like make an arrest warrant for this guy or something. So you can kind of shoehorn something in for Senate Commandos.
Gotcha.
But it doesn't necessarily need to be in your dupe since, to be honest, when was the last time you saw a Senate Commando?
That's true. That is true.
I mean, if I saw them during every event, trust me, I would have something set up for them every time. But I just don't see them, so I don't
Right.
bother. But you could. It's up to you if you want to give them something to do. Let's see. Did we go over? So make sure you never area copy with your advanced duplicator. And what I mean by area copying is doing shift. Oopsie, didn't mean to do that. Shift, and you see how this box comes up?
Yeah.
See, the problem with this, it's good, right? But you can end up copying the world props. So they're on sun maps. They're you know how people like start carrying around a barrel or a box or a crate or a music box or some random shit, and they'll just carry it around the entire event, or a chair. Those
Yeah.
are world props. That's props in the world that just spawn with the map. Now, you could take the time and go around and remove them when the dupe is spawned, but you're just going to be spending more time doing that than you're actually focusing on setting your event up. So that's
Right.
why we don't area copy, because this little square thing, this will copy even world props into your dupe. So that's why you just right click everything that's welded. And that's why it's important to weld your dupe too. Making sure you're only getting what you put down and not something random world prop box welded to your dupe, you know?
Right.
So that's how you do that. I want to make sure I'm going over the basics. You know how to use Stacker Tool, right? Or do you not have it yet?
I don't have it.
Okay, well, it should be one of the things you download from the pinned messages. The Stacker Tool just allows you to be able to stacker things. You can, like, make something tall if you want, just things side by side with each other. You press R to just change the position of where you want the prop to be stackered.
Oh, so that's how people make like the grounds like plastic.
Yeah, this is how I made this plastic here. I just
Gotcha.
stackered everything. God knows I would not take the time to
I really thought
precisely.
people did. I was about to say that's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's no shot anyone would ever do that. Then you can change like the offsets on it, like where you want it to be stackered. Then we have the precision tool. This is also another one of the ones I told you to download. This is how you precisely move things into the ground or into something that you want to be moved. See how I'm precisely moving this? I'm not having to move it with my fizz gun.
Yeah.
Let's say I want to lower this in the ground a little bit because I thought this watchtower was too high. Well, now I moved it into the ground, so I didn't have to no collide it, and then get my fizz gun, move it where I want it, and then recollide it. Precision tool helps you with that. So make sure you're using your precision tool when you want things to be precisely where you want them to be. Let's say you want a wall really close to each other, but you think you don't want to sit here with your fizz gun, trying to get, I don't know, stupid tower next to stupid tower precisely. You know, it's just too
Yeah.
much. You can just put it like up here or something, and then precision it down.
Can you like say you spawn something in and like say like you spawn in a droid, like one of those single droids, and
Yeah.
it like falls down and hits the floor. Can you use that to like make it go upright again?
What do you mean, a droid? So an NPC?
No, no, no. Like you know how you can spawn the army of droids and like
Oh
the
yeah.
single droid.
Let me see. Droid. This one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What about him?
There's a single version, and like
Yeah.
if you like
Oh,
put it down, like see how he fell.
yeah.
Can you use the precision toy to get him back up like that?
So what I did to get him back up like this perfectly, right? Is you see how like when I hold E, like I'm kind of he's not really getting up straight. You know, see I'm like fidgeting with my mouse here to like kind of get him where I
Yeah.
want him to be. If you hold E and shift, it'll move it precisely at like can't tell what angles here, probably like 45-degree angles, yeah. But if you hold shift and E while you're doing this, I'm actually getting him up right where I want him,
Gotcha.
and then I can place him down. Also, if you hold and then you hold the mouse wheel while you're holding E, you can move the prop around like this in the air.
Oh,
Kind
gotcha.
of move them on a like little rotating ball here, and then you can like get them wherever you need them if you want them like I don't know, precisely on the side of this building or something. Well, I'm gonna move him like this, and boom. Now he's where I want him. Basics. I think that, and then your remover tool. Never right-click your entire dupe unless you are prepared to remove it. Right-clicking everything that's welded together will remove the entire dupe. If
Oh
you want to
god.
just remove individuals, you left-click. But right-clicking will remove your entire dupe, so do be careful. Also, with your fizz gun, a mistake that happens sometimes, don't press R while you have your fizz gun out if your stuff's not welded. I can show you why real quick. Let's say Cardboard's making a good old plastic dupe, right? Oh my god, what a good plastic dupe he's making. He's just making that plastic dupe. Oh my god. And now I'm gonna get my fizz gun. I don't like how this was here. And I pressed R by accident. My dupe! Oh no.
Oh shit.
Now everything's unfrozen and my dupe is gone. So don't press R when you have your fizz gun out. it will unfreeze everything. So just do be careful with that as well. That's a mistake I ended up suffering a couple times when I was a TGM. I'll have a dupe made and I pressed R and I lost the entire dupe because it just fell out of the sky or everything just unfroze.
Damn.
Tragic, but yeah, do be careful with that as well. Basics. You don't need to know any of this. Weld, if you just want to use your basic weld tool, let's say you just want to weld something small, you don't feel like using your advanced duplicator. Let's say I have random props here. A-bomb, circle, and that. Okay. So the regular weld tool, right? If you use your regular weld tool, like let's say you want to weld a small area, you can just select all these individually. Your regular weld tool, you want to left click the first prop you're wanting to weld everything to. This is the prop that you're going to weld everything to. Now every prop from then on, you need to click twice. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now everything's welded. See how I can't move any of it?
Yep.
So that's how you use the normal weld tool, if you were wondering. I love the smart weld tool because I like when everything's green and I can see what's actually here. And then I can just weld everything to one thing. That's better for me, at least. Oop, okay. You don't need balloons, button, duplicator, dynamite, none of that shit. That won't work. Don't spawn ragdolls into your dupe. And I think that's it for basics. I mean, you'll have your tools ready and everything. You still have the presets that whoever taught you for your drop pod tool.
Rapid, yeah.
Okay. Make sure also that your drop pods, right? You never use them on plastic, because I'll show you what happens when you use them on plastic. Goodbye. Oopsie. It's supposed to fall from the sky. It's supposed to destroy the dupe.
No.
Anything that you drop a drop pod on that's a prop, it's gonna destroy it. So if let's say you have a building, right? Because I'm not expecting you to do plastic dupes all the time. Let's say you have a building and you're trying to drop a drop pod on top of it, you will delete the building with the drop pod. So just be careful when you're using drop pods. And drop pods should only really ever be used on flatter terrains because the droids will glitch through. So like here would be a good spot to use a drop pod. Here would probably be a bad spot to use a drop pod because then you're going to get what we call ground droids and they're just going to be in the ground shooting up with the group.
Gotcha.
Do be careful with that. I think this is everything we'll go over this time unless you have anything else you want to go over right now.
No. I think when I get back and I can actually look at my everything is when I'll have more of my questions.
That's fine. And feel free to reach out to me, DM me, just pull me aside like, hey, I want to work on my dupe. Can you join training room or something? And I'd be more than happy to join training room and go over your dupe with you.
I gotcha.
But for now, I guess this is some basics you can take away with you when you're building your, adding onto your dupe. Maybe thinking of your objectives now, staggering your spawns. Oh, no MTT trains. Probably one more thing I should go over. You don't want, you know what I mean by an MTT train?
Maybe.
I don't want to see this in your dupe. See how it's just a train of MTTs?
Oh, I gotcha.
Tanks. Just a one line of tanks. This is something you don't want to do with barriers. You can stagger your spawns. Let's say these are all barriers. Like, yeah, staggering is better, but I never want to see a line of tanks for your dupe. This is an MTT train. A GM's just going to end up coming in and deleting all those MTTs. Use your tanks sparingly. But yeah, I think that's all I have. Africa, do you have anything? I think Africa's dead. That's okay.
No.
Hello, Africa. Alright, that's it for this class. I know it was a little bit. Your first class is always going to be your longer one, because just making sure you go over the basics so your first dupe is successful. Again, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me, and I will help you out with anything you need.
I gotcha.